Okay, Fiskur Joe here, making the hand-bound journal. Here I have some covers. This one has goldenrod, walleye. You can see I've made the centering lines on the inside. Here's natural salmon on Italian leather. And this is the one that we'll be working with. This is a special edition because it's for a graduation gift. And her father caught the salmon in Alaska. I tanned it, and the yellow eye rockfish, and I tanned it. And as you can see, I've taken my ruler and I've measured the length 12 3/4, divided it in half, 6 3/8, and then made 6 other lines, 3 1/8 inch apart going to the left and 3 1/8 inch going to the right. Then I've taken and I've used a leather conditioner burnishing gum called Tokeno on the inside of the cover, and that's drying. On to the next step, which is cutting the paper. Okay, part 2 of the homebound journal is cutting the paper. Here I have 3 pages that I've cut 1.5 inches off the long side, so we have 7 inches by 11 folded in half. We have 3 pages folded in half here. Here is 1 signature. This is 6 pages folded in half. We're going to make 6 signatures for the journal. So here I have 3. I'm going to take 3 long sheets, set them up in my cutter to 7 inches, and then fold it in half. So I now have 2 signatures, 6 pages each. We need a total of 6. Be right back. Okay, so the 6 signatures have been made. We have all those pages folded. Next up is we're going to mark where the stitching holes are going to go in the signatures. Be right back. Okay, we're back here now. I've marked with pencil the location of the holes for these 6 signatures, and now we're going to use a cardboard block. The other thing I'll point out is I have a mark on the very top of each of the signatures. That's really important that you keep the orientation the same. We're just going to lay these out flat and take our awl and poke a hole through all 6 pages along the seam where our mark is, and we'll do that for all 6 of these and be back for the next step. Be right back. Okay, so we've got the 6 signatures, all with holes punched in those marks. I'll mention that in the class, when you take the class, the pages will be cut, the signatures will be made. You're going to have to do the measurement and poking the holes, and the leather covers will have the fish leather attached and the vertical lines made here. So some of those steps will save us time in working. So what we take now is, remember your orientation for the top. We take just one of the signatures and we get it centered, and then wherever those holes are, we're going to make a mark onto the leather, and a horizontal mark for, then we'll take our measuring ruler and go across. So I've got vertical lines on my ruler that'll keep me oriented straight, and I'm going to just draw horizontal marks in those 6 holes, or 6 places, where we will then punch a hole through the leather that gives us the ability to hand stitch the signature pages to the leather cover. So when you're done, I use a red ink for the very center hole, and when you're done you'll have these horizontal lines on the grid, and we're now going to take our 1 millimeter punch, and at every intersection we're going to punch through that spot through the leather cover itself, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're punching holes in our leather cover, and I've done the top 6, 12. Now I've done 3 here. I'll show you. You just line the punch up on the intersection, give it a nice wrap, and it goes all the way through to the other side. So we've got the rest to do, and we'll be ready for the next step. Be right back. Okay, so I used 50 inches of tiger thread. I cut it off, secured my needle. Remember the orientation of the signatures. I started with the first page. You go around and you make a locking stitch up at the very top. We'll go over that in class. And then it's basically you're going in and out of the holes so that the longest, the 2-inch part here is showing up nice. You got to remember to keep your stitches snug, so when you get ready to go to the next hole, make sure this one is snug. So now I'm ready to go to the next signature. I'm going to put the needle in from the outside, going to the inside, take my next page, find the top mark. That's going to be lined up here. We're going to come in from the outside on the bottom hole, pull it in, get it off the handle of the patio chair, which creates problems sometimes when I'm outside. Also problems are, I don't know if you can hear the lawnmower of the neighbor. It was nice and quiet out here when I started, unfortunately. Sorry about that. But here we go. We're going to go in from the inside outside. Now go to the next hole in that same vertical line, pull it through. So pull it taut, go up to the next hole. There are many different ways to stitch pages, signatures into a journal. I found one way that works for me, and I think the gal's name was C. Lemon, is who I learned from on YouTube. I was scheduled to take a class in Grand Marais at the folk school, and they canceled on me, so I went searching on how to learn for my own and found this gal, and I used this stitching method. That resource will be provided in the handout, as well as the details on how this stitching takes place. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of an inkling on how it happens. I'm going up to the very top hole now, and then we're going to add the third signature. So at every stitch I keep it nice and taut. Here we come, we find the top. We're going to move over one and come in from the outside to the very top hole and pull it through. We're going to keep doing that all the way through to the end. We'll be right back as we get close to finishing the journal. Okay, here's a little modification that I did based on what I had learned originally from her. If you'll notice real carefully, there's going to, if I go to the next hole over for the next signature, I leave a blank space here at the bottom. So what I do is I back stitch into that hole, just into the leather, not into the signature page. So I'm going to go just into the leather. Gotta slide that in there. And then along the side between the page and the leather, we come out on the hole next to it. Dogs barking, lawnmower running. So sorry for the extra noises here. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in Minnesota. Now I'm ready to come in to the back, to the bottom hole on that one. Remember your orientation. Here's the top, this is the bottom. I'm going to take the next signature and add the next page into the bottom from the outside, coming in. Just like that. So when you're finished, you'll have a nice, all that extra stitch does is it makes it look more finished and nicer. I'll show you the final result back in a minute. Okay, I've got all 6 signatures attached to the journal. I made my final stitch coming through here. Now I'm going to bring it on a flat line right through that last signature hole, right in through there. Make sure you keep your stitches taut, and then I'm going to tie it off by making a loop through and a knot to come all the way through, so that I pull it just really nice and tight, and then I'm going to snip it just like that. I'm going to check the first stitch, see how much extra string we have, and I'm just going to, I had put a knot in the end of this to help us pull it through. I'm just going to clip right ahead of that knot, and there it is, stitched together. And as you can see, these look a lot better than when you have gaps. That's the hand stitched journal. And the final thing would be if I wanted to put a leather conditioner on the outside to preserve it. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in a class.